Hello, our beautiful people. How are you all doing today? We are here yet again.
Hi, how's it going? Hope you're happy. Hope you're joyful. If you're not joyful, if you're not happy, you need to stop listening. Breathe in, out, breathe in, out, press play.
Okay, so that's the
That's my own therapy
therapy.
for you. You're welcome, by the way. Of course. You're welcome. Thank me later. Breathing exercises are actually very, very good for regulating emotions.
Yes.
I've found, like, if you are experiencing a negative emotion and you take a deep breath
Yeah.
and then you breathe out through your mouth, so not your nose, but you open your mouth like and you release, like you exhale, yeah, like Anu is doing right now, it does help a lot.
And I think it's the consciousness of having to take that deep breath, because many times, or I would even say many times, but most times we actually have shallow breath. We don't go to the very capacity of our lungs.
Yes.
And so when we take that deep breath, and then you release, it's like you're releasing all the negative vibes.
Yes. And actually, there's been I think it was one of those podcasts that I listened to back then, and the man was talking about the importance of breathing,
Yes.
how your breath is so important in helping you sleep well, live well.
Yes.
Like, there are so many health benefits from breathing. And for me, it was quite fascinating because I grew up not actively thinking about
How do I breathe?
how do I breathe. Breathing shallow is not
it's
is not making use of my full lung capacity. Who would have thought? But you know how they say, before you make a presentation, for example, maybe you're nervous, take a deep breath, and then you find that it becomes easier.
Yeah.
That's just one of the many examples of the benefits of breathing.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And one of the things that also interests me about life is there are many things that we do not know because we're ignorant, either due to the fact that we have never come across that knowledge or we never sought that knowledge. And you can imagine how many things we are missing out or we don't take advantage of because of our ignorance. So in our attempt to address ignorance in our life, we are reading a book currently, and wow, what a shock, for me at least, to discover our very topic of today, apology styles, right? Or apology languages. I remember when I read the 5 love languages. For me, it was also very insightful. I really never knew that, saying I love you is not enough. Because I just thought growing up, I mean, if I said I love you, I'm communicating love to you, that, oh yeah, I love you. And now it's common knowledge, if just ask anyone on the street what are the 5 love languages, almost everyone can say it, right? Acts of service, physical touch, and all of that. But we read this book and we saw that there are also 5 apology languages. So I am sorry is not all that there is to apologizing. That for me was interesting. What do you think about it? I mean, for you, was it a shock? Had you come across apology languages?
No, I had not come across a concept called apology languages or different ways of apologizing that are clustered into categories. But reading it made me realize that actually most of us practice at least one or two by default, right? And so we're going to get into all of that as we are talking. But it was just nice to see that it's something we subconsciously do, but we did not have a name for it. And now there is a name for it. Like, you now know that when you are saying I'm sorry in this certain way, that this is what it means, or this is what it's called. I also found it fascinating that the language of apology that I understand is not the same with yours. Just the same way I can tell you that I have, or my love language is this and that, and Anu can tell me that his love language is that and another thing. So it means that if I am trying to love up on Anu and I'm not speaking his love language, then he would not interpret my action as this lady is expressing love to me.
Yeah.
So that's how it was fascinating for me. Like, when people say I'm sorry, it's not everybody that receives I'm sorry as an apology. Some people require more, some people require something else.
Yeah.
So, yes.
When I was preparing to get married and we also went through some premarital counseling and classes, there were some phrases that we were taught that must always be in our home if we want to have a successful relationship. And those phrases really cut across every kind of relationship and not just a romantic relationship or one that is marriage focused. And some of those phrases were thank you. Always learn how to say thank you. Then the next was I am sorry. And I remember like hearing this teaching, I was like, okay, easy peasy. I've always been saying I'm sorry, even before I got married. What a shock it was for me when I got into marriage with my beautiful wife and I do something that she doesn't like, or there was a case where I needed to apologize and I just said I'm sorry. And Lade is like, okay. And then it's like I'm sorry. It's not what I need, and it's not what is needed in this situation. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so you say I'm sorry. Okay, and then
So, on that, I am sorry, to continue your story,
yes.
there were times where you would tell me, I am sorry, full stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be like, okay, sometimes I would even ask, what are you sorry for?
Because guess what?
Some people don't know what they are sorry for.
Yes, what you're saying is so true. So say I am sorry. Okay, that then for me it's full stop. I am sorry. But now reading the book and also like living with you, I realize that I am sorry is not a complete sentence
No, it's not.
and it's not a complete apology.
No.
At least to complete that sentence, you must have the for. I am sorry for. So at least that is a way of you acknowledging that you realize what you did that at least
Hurts the
that hurt the
person.
person and that warranted the apologies. And for me, it's to be honest, when I was reading this chapter, I was like, wow, man, you can live all your life just thinking you're apologizing and just telling your wife or telling your friend, oh, I'm sorry. And it's not doing what it's supposed to do because you're not doing it completely. So you should say for what reason you're sorry. I'm sorry for doing this, then it's complete.
There's one thing I want to point out that I have seen, at least in the past, not recent, where some people apologize by saying something like, I am sorry that you feel offended by blah, blah, blah. So let's say we get into a conflict and then I'm telling you, Anu, I am sorry that you feel this way, but this is my intention, blah, 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 blah. That is also not an apology because you're telling them that I'm sorry that you are not thinking right about this whole thing. No, it's your fault. But me, this is what I mean. This is what I am this is my opinion. I'm sorry that you are not taking it the right way. That one is on you. So you're putting the responsibility on the other person instead of saying that you are actually sorry. And that's not expressing regret.
Yes, that's the so you're saying I am sorry, but you're really not sorry. And I think this was something that we had to also address in our relationship where if I say I'm sorry because I know that's what should be said, right?
Or you think that's what
Or
I want to
yeah,
hear.
I think that's what you want
I
to
think
hear.
most times that's you think that that's what I want to
Yeah,
hear.
like okay, I mean, I didn't do what you expected, or I did it the other way. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. And it's yours. I'm saying I'm sorry, not necessarily because I am expressing regret for my action or that I consider my action to be wrong, but I'm saying it because I should apologize. Right, I can clearly see that you're not pleased with my action, and so the response should be I'm sorry. But I'm not actually expressing regret, and I'm not acknowledging what I have done that hurt you or that was wrong.
So it's good that you brought it up because I was also going to talk about how it can happen that you're really not sorry, but because you want peace to reign, you say, I am sorry. It will now be ego, not ego, but really humbling yourself to say that I am sorry for blah, 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 when in your own mind, you did not do anything wrong.
Yes.
So why are you like, okay, it's sorry you want, Abby? I am sorry, full stop.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why some people use that I am sorry without explaining what they're sorry for, because many times they think that they're in the right.
Yes, I agree with
And they
you.
think that just because they want to be the bigger person, they would say that I am sorry, but they really don't mean it. And so it's like, why are you saying it if you don't mean it? So where do we find the balance?
Yes, I think the balance from what I've learned over time, especially now that I have someone who is living with me 24/7, and there are many situations where I have to apologize.
When you say it like this, I'm sure people will just be like,
But you also have
I
cases where you
know.
apologize to me. But
Yes.
I'm speaking from my own perspective. If you want to talk about moments when you have to apologize to me, feel
Okay.
free. But I'm just trying
Maybe
to.
when we get to the apology language that I use,
Yes, yes,
I guess then I will talk, because
yes,
this is the one Anu uses the
yes.
most. I
Because
am
that's
sorry.
that's
That's
what
the
I
one that
use.
Anu, and it's punked. I am sorry, full
I am
stop.
sorry. Yes. So and
It
maybe that's why I
doesn't.
have so much to say about this.
Okay, okay.
So, what I understood when I read this chapter, and for this particular point, is I can express regret for hurting you, but I don't have to take responsibility for my action in the sense that I'm like, I was wrong. So, this is what I mean. So, let's say I did something to you and what I did hurt you. When I express regret and I say I'm sorry, a full apology and a complete apology would be a Lolade, I am sorry for hurting you, right? And that's full and that's complete. I'm sorry for hurting you, or I'm sorry for what I said that
What if you're
hurt you.
also hurt?
But wait, then, but because you apologizing here is you saying you want to express regret for how you made the other person feel. It's not a question about who was right or wrong. It's just acknowledging that you are hurt and I realize my action made you hurt. So I'm apologizing and I don't want to hurt you. I really never want to hurt you. So since my action hurt you, I apologize for that action that hurt you. And that can be done and it can be separated from me taking responsibility in the sense that I'm saying what I did was wrong. Because there are situations where you can be hurt, but what I did was not wrong.
True.
You just took it either personally or you overestimated the action, or or you could be wrong and how you perceived what I did was wrong and it made you hurt. So we can now go to the next stage where we can talk about what happened, how you perceived it, how it was not my intention and all of that, and then we can have a middle ground. But when you've done something that has hurt someone, apologize for hurting that person.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can now go to the next type of apology where you're not apologizing, expressing regret for how you make someone feel. But the second one is where you now take responsibility, like accepting responsibility. And the second one is like a statement like, I was wrong. Because if I say I was wrong, now I'm not just saying I'm sorry, but I am accepting responsibility that my action, I agree with you that my action was indeed wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so I apologize also in that way by saying, hey, Lolade, I was wrong, and then I can also combine that with, I'm sorry for how what I said hurt you, I'm sorry about that.
Mm-hmm. So you just mentioned the second
Yes.
language of apology, which is taking responsibility or accepting responsibility. And the way that it translates is, for example,
I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you with what you said about separating the whole thing, separating the intention. So when you're expressing regret, the intention is to focus on the way you made the person feel.
Yes.
Right? And just focus on that and not the action itself and
Yes.
how the other person
interpreted
it, who is
Yeah.
right, who is wrong. That's a separate thing entirely.
Yes.
So this second one is now saying that I've looked at the situation, I've looked at the scenario, I've played it in my head because I'm a self-aware person. And I'm also very, should I say, empathetic towards the person that I have seemingly hurt. And I can see that actually maybe I shouldn't have said what I said, or I shouldn't have said it the way I said it, or maybe I should have been a bit more thoughtful, or I should have been a bit more gentle, whatever it is, or maybe I should have even not done what it is that I did. And so that taking responsibility or accepting responsibility is for some people even much more important than saying, I am sorry that I hurt you.
Yes. Yes.
Because sometimes, actually, for me, when people apologize and they say something like, I'm sorry I hurt you, full stop, I want to know that you know that what you did was not right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important to me in the process of forgiveness,
Yes.
that you are able to recognize that you really, really hurt me, and and you have accepted it. You know how I think these 5 stages of grief, there's one that is acceptance.
Yeah.
And acceptance is so important because then you are now in your head aware that this is the situation. So I feel like, at least for me, this second apology language, it carries more weight. But like you said, many times it could be that one apology language seeps into the next one. So, for example, maybe we have a disagreement or whatever, and then I do something that I'm not supposed to do. Then I'm like, oh, babe, I'm really sorry for what I did. What I did was wrong, and I take responsibility for it. I shouldn't have done that. So there I've already merged two apology languages without even consciously naming them. That's why I said that some of these languages we already use, we already know, but we don't know that it is called what it is called.
So at moments where you have had to apologize to me, how do you apologize?
I feel like you are very easy to forgive. Like you don't take things to your chest, and I'm very thankful for that. Like, you're not very difficult to apologize to. Some people are, you have to really
Say it many
you
times.
have no not say many, you have to prepare, you have to plan what is it that you really want to say and all that. But for you, if I use, oh babe, I'm sorry for, and then I explain what I did, you're like, no problem.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Do you know why? Because
Tell me.
we'll continue with the other ones, but these two that we talked about, I am okay with someone just saying I'm sorry.
With the first one.
With the first one, sometimes I don't even need you to even describe what you are sorry for. For me, it doesn't even matter. For me, if you just come and you say, "Hey, I know, I'm sorry," for me that's like okay. I'm like, oh no, no, it's fine, it's fine. I got it. You don't have to say it more than once. And because I'm like that, I used to think that if I say that same thing to somebody else, the person should also understand that I've said I'm sorry, I'm genuine about my I'm sorry. So I said of that to say that sometimes we think how we receive apology is sufficient and it's okay to give apology that same way, which many times leads us into trouble. Because for me, I'm sorry is okay, but for you, I'm sorry is not okay. I must qualify the sorry. I'm sorry for this, and sometimes I have to even go further to say I'm sorry for this, and I was wrong, and for doing this, and that's when apology means. And it doesn't make you worse than me, and it doesn't make me better than you. That's what I want to establish before we move to the third one. Like the fact that I am okay with I'm sorry, and I speak that apology language doesn't make me like the way you described it. I'm less. I don't have so much thing. I don't take things to heart. I don't really think it's about taking things to heart. I just think it's just how we are, how we understand it. So the
Or how
fact,
different
or
you
how
are, your
different, yeah,
personality,
personality.
how you're wired,
Yes,
basically.
so I just want to bring that balance. So that someone who is listening to us and is saying, "Oh, me, I can't just take I'm sorry for something. I'm like Lola Day. I want you to tell me why you're sorry, and I also want you to accept responsibility for what you've done and say it to me. You're not being extra." That's what I want to explain.
That's a very good balance, because like I already said earlier on, it's like love language.
Yes.
That you have this particular love language that if someone serves you in, it's okay for you. It doesn't mean that the other person has that as their own love language as well.
Yes.
So it's really about understanding who this person is, how do they like to be apologized to, and it's from, should I say, having encounters with them that you would be able to know.
Understand.
With me and you, when sometimes you tell me sorry, I'm like,
do you realize why
yes.
Yeah, why this is
I try to ask you,
Yeah.
what are you sorry for? And do you know why I am saying what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
yeah.
that you understand that I'm not just trying to be crazy, or I'm not.
There's a reason
There's a
behind it.
reason behind me
Yeah.
asking if you understand what you're taking responsibility for, if you're even taking responsibility at all. And for me, that's what works. But for you, it's different.
Yes.
For you, just me saying I'm sorry is sufficient. But me, when I tell you I'm sorry, I don't just say, babe, I'm sorry, right? Because I also feel like I should explain what I'm sorry for. But it doesn't move you, because I've already said I am sorry, which is what you're looking for. That's enough for you. So when I go further, it's like,
You're talking too much. It's okay.
I'm talking too much. But would you say that since that is the way you are, it's more annoying for you when I go on to explain what I'm sorry for, as opposed to just saying I'm sorry, because that is what you need. That's sufficient for you.
For me, it's not annoying.
Okay.
So
it's just unnecessary.
I wouldn't even say it's unnecessary. It's like an add-on. It's just the way you have a cake and then you can have icing on the cake. So for me, the cake is I'm sorry. The icing is the explanation you're giving. So I I can live without the icing as long as I have the substance, and that's I'm sorry, the cake. So of course, if you explain why you're sorry, and we talk about the other types of apology languages, then it's like an icing. But let's go to the third apology language, which is making restitution. And this is, I feel like this is next level, because now you're not just saying I'm sorry for how I made you feel, or you're saying I am wrong, but now you're asking a question like, how can I make this right? What can I do to amend this, right? And the focus here is the apology is directed towards repairing what was damaged, fixing what was done. And I feel when it comes to this language, the focus is on action,
Yes.
on the action that you take. It's not just what you say, but what is done after.
Or what you're even willing to do.
Yes, yes. So I think people who would relate more to this apology language are people who are more action driven and more results driven. So, for example, let's say you did something that hurts me, and it might just be like, okay, I told you that I always want my food to be hot. This is not me, right? Just a very weird example. When I want to eat, I want my food to be hot, and you serve me my food cold. And then I come and I'm like, babe, I told you that I want my food to be hot. You can say, I'm sorry for serving your food cold, and then you go and sit. Okay, at least you express regret. Or you can take the second approach, which is, okay, I accept responsibility.
I was wrong
I was
for
wrong for serving
serving the
you.
food cold.
But at that situation, or if we look at that situation, the most appropriate apology there must include making restitution. Meaning, oh, I'm sorry, I accept responsibility. Can I take this to the kitchen and reheat it? So I said all that to say that sometimes apology is context specific. Sometimes it's not enough to even do the two that we spoke earlier. Sometimes apology means fixing the wrong and asking, what can I do to actually make this right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel this applies to everybody. Like, it doesn't have to be your favorite language, but I just feel there's situations where if you do not make a restitution, you've not completed your apology.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I think that restitution is like turning away from your wicked ways and making amends. So, the example that you gave of reheating the food was really good. And in the context where it makes sense, it's a good approach to use. Let's say you've done something that clearly shouldn't have been done, and the person that you hurt has already expressed their dissatisfaction. In that instance, if it's something that you can already fix, you don't even need to ask, how can I make this better? You know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You could even say, oh, would it help if exactly. So I think it's definitely something that we need to keep more at the forefront of our consciousness so that we can practice it more, because I would say that it's easier to try the first approach, which is I am sorry, the second one, which is I was wrong, but the third one, which is actually like taking the action, not so many people are really conversant with that, which is why we're having this conversation anyway, because we also are learning about it
Absolutely.
and saying that, okay, in our relationship, in our marriage, we want to commit to that where we are improving.
Yeah, just like I remember one day I was supposed to close the door or something, and I didn't close the door, and you came and you're like, "Babe, the door is not closed, right?" And I was like, "I'm sorry," but you're like, "No, that's good. Can the door be shut? Just close the door of the room." you know and so that saying sorry at that point in time was not what needed to be done. Was the action. Okay, close the door, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's this is very good. Let's go to the fourth one, and then we get to the final apology language, and this one is genuine repentance. Like,
This is the one I love. I have to just already jump in.
okay, go for it.
This is the one I love, and this is the one that I actually try to use, if you've noticed. So when I do something that hurts you, I'll be like, okay, babe, I'm sorry for what I said. Next time, I would be more careful and I would ask God to help me, to give me the wisdom so that I don't make that same mistake again, you know. And for me, it's just my defaults. I really like when people are aware of what they have done and are willing to do what
To
it takes and
change.
express it.
Mm.
So for me, if you, for example, this is an extreme example, right? Imagine somebody has been cheating on their husband.
Yeah.
I intentionally do not want to use wife
Yeah.
because
But most
this
times it's
is
always
most
a
wife is always most times it's always the
husband
husband
that is
cheating.
cheating.
But yeah, let's say the woman has been cheating. In that moment, the gravity of the situation requires that you do the most you can. So I am sorry is not enough.
Yeah.
I was wrong. It's good. It's a next step, but it's still not enough. How can I make this better? Would it help if I stop cheating? Obviously. Obviously. But that genuine repentance that
Yes.
you really are like gutted, you're so sad at what you did, and you make a verbal commitment. You're like, you know what? I've realized that this is what triggers me. So I am going to delete the number of this X
Mm-hmm.
because I see that when I see his WhatsApp messages, I get, very excited and we start talking. And before you know it, the affair has kicked off.
Yeah.
So I think that this number four, is very crucial.
Yes.
But again, like Anu said, it is context specific.
Yeah.
It's not in all contexts that genuine repentance will be like the
Primary.
default, the primary. But there are definitely some contexts where it has to shine.
Yeah.
It has to really be the star of your apology series,
Yeah. Yes.
so to speak.
No, I agree with you. And this point is so important. And I believe everyone should at least be conversant with this and try to master it, because it really shows that you are an introspective person. You are a lover of truth and you want to improve. And I said all of that to say, when you have a high ego, or you are proud, or you think you are always right, you can't express this kind of apology, because this apology really takes a lot of introspection. You have to recognize that you are wrong. You have to recognize that you need to change, not that the person needs to change. It's really about taking responsibility and going beyond just words, but turning your words to action, and consistent action. Because when we have conflict, what happens is there is every possibility for destruction of trust between us. But what really rebuilds trust in a relationship is not the lack of conflict, but a well resolved conflict that is backed up with genuine repentance. If someone has hurt you and the person is sorry about it, and the person comes back and shows you that they are genuinely repented, the trust is rebuilt. It doesn't even feel like you guys had a fight before,
It's
or you
true.
had a quarrel before, because the person has come to a point of, okay, I was wrong, I needed to change my ways, and now I'm making that change. And that's why I said everyone must have this.
Yeah.
You must be able to genuinely repent, because it shows that you're a lover of truth. It shows that you're someone who wants to change, you wants to grow. You're not perfect. And every one of us must learn how to use this and also give it to people. The last one, and we're going to call it a day, is requesting for forgiveness. I feel like this is also very, like, we don't need to talk much about this, like asking for forgiveness.
Will you please forgive
Yeah, will
me?
you please forgive me? Although it's not commonly used, because most times if I just if I hurt you, I don't say please forgive me, or people don't say please forgive me a lot. People say I'm sorry and the others, but to actually ask for forgiveness, it means you must take your ego away from that whole context and humble yourself to say, please, will you forgive me?
It's true, Sha.
Because it's not easy to come out to ask. It's easier to say I'm sorry. It's even easier to say I was wrong, I take responsibility, than to come to someone and say, hey, please forgive me for what I said. It's like the picture I have in my mind is like you are on your knees begging for forgiveness. It's not easy.
What I feel people use more is, are you still angry with me? Are we good now?
Are we good now?
Is everything okay now?
Without
Are we
without
now
are we
now
okay? Are we
sorted?
cool?
Are
Are
we
we
cool?
cool? Are we cool?
So it's a way of
saying, please
saying,
forgive
have
me.
you forgiven me?
Well, have you forgiven me is different from will you forgive me? Because if I ask you, have you forgiven me, I'm asking you a question. It's like I'm bypassing.
But will you forgive me is also a question.
Yeah, but it's if I come to you and I say, "Will you forgive me?" I'm taking a posture of, it's a humble posture. It's a posture of humility, coming to ask you. It's like I'm saying, I need something from you, and it's your choice to give me or not to give me. But if I come and I ask you, "Have you forgiven me?" It's like I'm just asking something should have been done in the past, and I'm just confirming yes or no. So it does not carry the same weight as coming to ask you for forgiveness. But sometimes this is also important.
It's true. Definitely. People don't use this one. Even me, I don't think I have had conflicts where I'm literally asking,
For forgiveness.
will you forgive me? There are not many scenarios where I've done that. So it's a mirror moment
Yes.
for me to look inward and say, okay, are there scenarios where this would apply? Because I also feel like it's not every offense that needs will you forgive
forgive
me.
me, of course.
Yes, because it's not, should I say, it's not that deep.
But if you sense it's
But
deep,
if it is a very serious, grievous offense, like cheating, for example, I think that humility
or
is very,
backbiting, or saying
or
evil,
you're, yeah, or you've slandered
slandered
someone,
someone, and
you've made other people think that this person is a beast or a
it's a wicked
wicked
person.
person, and in the end it's not true. I think there you need to actually humble yourself and be like, you know what, will you please forgive me? Yes.
Yeah. To round up to this conversation, let's just highlight some what does a bad apology sound like, right? I would say one, and then you can say one, right? Wait,
Did I not already start with one? I think I did.
which one? Oh, is
I
it?
am sorry if you feel hurt, or
Yes.
I'm sorry that you are not happy
See,
with this, or I'm sorry that you, anything that
puts
starts with I am sorry but continues with that
that, or
or
if,
but and moves to you.
yes,
It's not an
it's a bad
apology.
apology. So
That
I
one
agree.
is
If you
bad.
apologize that way, you're not apologizing. You're just talking. The one I would say is when someone just comes and gaslights you. There's gaslighting apology. So it's like, no, it's not that deep. Let's move on.
Oh, I don't like that one.
Let's just move on. Let's just
But now that I think about it, there have been moments where I've used this.
yes, I'm
For
sure.
sure.
But
Where I just feel like it's not such a big deal, but the other person is clearly hurt. And then I'm like,
let's just move on.
please, can we move on?
Don't take it that personal.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, so this is
No, that is not that deep. That one is a trigger.
that one, the pain.
It dey pain. It dey hurt.
So if you're apologizing by saying let's just move on, it's not that deep. Come on, don't be a child, don't be petty, don't be no. If you want to apologize with
Or why are you taking it personal?
why are you taking it that deal? Why are you taking it
Ah,
personal? It's like, come on.
I really don't like that one.
All right, guys. I hope today's conversation was good. As you guys can tell, this was a light moment for us. It was a light bulb moment for us, and we are still learning. And we hope that this conversation has brought you also the opportunity to learn
And reflect.
Yes, and reflect. If you enjoyed this episode, you know the drill. Like, this episode you need to share with someone. Like, we don't need to even encourage you to do that. So please go ahead, share this episode with someone that you love, someone that you know that this episode would help. Share it on your status.
Someone that has been pissing you off for the longest time but doesn't know how to apologize the way you feel makes sense to you. Send it
to them. Say, this
Just tell them this one is for you. Collect your sub. This is your table. Sit on it. Feast.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you for listening to us. Follow, like, comment, subscribe on all platforms. You can find us on all platforms. Genuinely, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Yeah, let's toast to life.
All right, guys. Until we see each other virtually, of course, don't forget to toast to life because life is worth
Living.
living. Toodles.
Ciao.